Oh boy, here we go. Gluttonous.
What you working on?
I am going to make a rub for the ribs. Our tradition of non-traditional Thanksgiving this year, I'm gonna do some ribs. So I think I'm just going to do a dry rub. And this is a rosemary garlic blend. Some black pepper. Some salt. Little garlic. Some paprika.
It just made it really dark, didn't it?
Yeah. And then use some sweet chili. This has got all sorts of good ingredients in it. And then pat it all in. Flip it over and do it again. Okay. Let that sit and get to room temperature for probably about 30 to 45 minutes. I'm going to sear both sides, and one I'm going to put back in the pan and throw in the oven and cook it on the lowest temperature setting we have, which is 325. And then the other one I'm going to put in the slow cooker after I sear it off, and we'll cook that on low for a couple hours. And then we're going to see which version we like better. Same exact rub, same exact seasoning. We're going to start them off the same. It's just how we finish them. Alright, I am going to make a tandoori carrot with a Vadouvan sauce. So this is a little bit of a spicy dish, but it's not too spicy for those who don't like a lot of heat, because Nate does not like spicy food. It's very not spicy.
Very not spicy.
These carrots do take quite a while to bake, so you really don't want to start this at the end of your meal. It's actually good to kind of be as one of the first dishes that you do, because carrots, as most of you know, take at least 30-40 minutes to cook in the oven, depending on how al dente you like them. And if you're not familiar with what Vadouvan is, it's a French and Indian fusion. It's kind of a curry. Very delicious, very unique spice blend. I found it when we were hunting in a spice shop and somebody highly recommended it. So we are going to do about 2 teaspoons of this Vadouvan sauce, or spice here. So with this one, this blend that I got, I actually got this one off of Amazon. It's not blended very good, so it's up to you. You can see there's still some pretty big chunks of herbs in there. So kind of personal preference. I like to break it down a little bit more. I'm going to also add 1/4 cup of Greek yogurt, and a little bit on the heavy side. This Vadouvan is a little spicier than some of them, so I'm adding a little bit more Greek yogurt. And then I diced up 2 cloves of garlic. I'm just going to add about half of that into here. And then I'm going to stir this up, and I'm going to add a little bit of oil as well. Probably about 3 teaspoons of oil. So, and then just mix this up. And this is going to actually make the coating that we're going to coat the carrots with. And so what's going to happen is I'm going to take some baby carrots that I prepped earlier, and I'm just going to put them in this sauce and kind of coat them, and then put them on a baking pan and bake them. And then in a little bit I'll make a drizzle sauce that will go over them, and then we'll top them with cilantro.
So for those of you that don't have smell-o-vision enabled on YouTube right now, this smells so incredibly good.
It's the one thing I've always taken to a potluck or made at a family gathering, and we've never had leftovers.
What are you doing here?
This is the first step in making a cucumber salad. So what I'm doing is I am chopping up the cucumbers with my handy dandy little slicer here that I've had for about 18 years and I absolutely love. And I'm gonna put a little bit of salt on them and get the excess moisture out of them before I make the salad, because it's gonna be kind of a creamy salad with a mayo base, and so I didn't want it to be really liquidy. Alright. And I just checked the meat and it looks like it's cooking quite well. I checked the temperature and they were about 180. I typically cook my pork to about 200, 202, just to break everything down. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna wrap it in this foil. I'm gonna then wrap it in a towel, and then I'm gonna put it in a cooler. This works great for if you want to do pulled pork or anything like that too. Just let it sit there. It continues to render the fat. Works really, really good for a tender meat. So for the Vadouvan sauce, it's a quarter cup of Greek yogurt. It's the remaining of the garlic, which is a little over a clove. And then it's about 2 teaspoons of lemon juice. I'm not sparing with the lemon because I really think that it brightens it up, and the acid and the citrus really is delicious with the spice of the Vadouvan. So this is all it is. And you just mix this up and let this sit while your carrots are cooking. One other thing, salt and pepper to taste, just to kind of bring it out again. So I just put a little bit of salt in there and just a little bit of pepper. So since the Vadouvan has so much spice, I don't want to put a ton of pepper in here. I'd rather have it the light and brightness of the lemon. So that's it. You getting hungry?
No, but I am getting antsy about eating because it all smells so good. I'm kind of like Floyd and Kinsley. They know that they have a feeding time and they just wait and they wait. And it's so hard for them to wait, but they know it's coming. Man, I don't know if I can do this.
Oh.
Rough life.
Well, speaking of them waiting,
Yep.
it is that time, so if you want, you can feed the doggies, and
Yep.
that'll make them happy.
I'm going to feed the pups. Eat. Okay, quick update from Katie.
So just made a cucumber salad. Just took some sweet onions, some garlic, chopped those and minced those, some dill, some white distilled vinegar, and some mayo, salt and pepper. Didn't add any additional salt since I had taken the salt out to take the water and the moisture out. I didn't add any additional salt, just a little bit of pepper. So just mixed everything together. I'm going to put it in the fridge and let it just sit for about 30 minutes while the rest of the food's cooking. So I do have some grits started here. I have heavy cream that I've added in here, and I've shredded and melted some cheddar cheese, and I've salt and peppered it. So it's just kind of a cheese sauce base is all I've done so far, so you can see it's nice and thick and creamy. And I'm gonna cheat a little bit here, and I'm just going to add in these instant grits that we got. And so a little extra work with opening them all up. But other than that, pretty easy. And so just gonna add all these in here. And I'm gonna be honest, I've never tried these, what are they, Quaker instant grits? But it's kind of your way of upscaling it a little bit by, instead of, I think they say to put half a cup of water in and put them in the microwave, so I'm adding some heavy cream instead and making them a little bit more creamy and thicker, which I think is going to make the grits much more delicious because I do love me some cheesy grits. So I'm just going to mix this in. I don't actually have this on heat because these are instant grits. I did warm up the cheese and melted everything, but I'm just going to set these aside, and these are going to be kind of a last minute turn them on and make sure they're cooked before I serve the rest of the food. Alright, right, the carrots are out of the oven. You can see on here there's a good crisp. See how this is nice and charred on here? That's good. You want that char. It's really tasty, I promise. And this is really up to your discretion and how much you want to cool it off. You just drizzle this on here, garnish it with some cilantro. It's delicious. And then we've got our grits. They turned out really good. The ribs are good. They're cut up and ready to go. I made honey butter and a barbecue sauce for the ribs, and we've got the salad and rolls on the table, so we are ready for dinner.
Yay!
Yay! Yummy. Happy Thanksgiving.
Bye, guys.
This one's for you, Elaine.
Oh.